What would you do if someone tried to sell you to the highest bidder for not having the right credentials? In 1844, a man named Tom McGregor brought his wife Roseanne from Illinois to their new homestead in Marion County, Iowa. This caused quite a stir because Tom was a white man and Roseanne was a black woman. Sadly, the racist busybodies in Marion County took issue with their mixed-race marriage, and the couple was arrested. Their case was shuffled through 3 different courts before it was dismissed by a grand jury in the heavily Quaker Mahaska County. The McGregors' troubles weren't over yet. Although technically a person could not be made a slave in the territory of Iowa, there was a law that required any black or mulatto who wished to settle there to produce a certificate of their freedom and a bond, and if they couldn't do so, they would be hired out for 6 months for the best price to be had, the proceeds going into the county treasury. That sounds like slavery to me. The Marion County Commissioners decided to leverage this law against Roseanne McGregor, so they issued a general order that all blacks or mulattoes in the county must bring in their court documents for review. Roseanne McGregor did not comply. Then the court ordered that unless she produced her freedom papers and a $500 bond before the end of January 1846, the sheriff shall proceed to sell the said Roseanne McGregor to the highest bidder for the term of 6 months. Roseanne did not comply. So, Sheriff Walters rounded up his deputy Conray, who was also the local doctor, and went out to the McGregor's residence on a day when they knew her husband would be away on business to bring her to court in Knoxville. The doors of the cabin were barred, and Roseanne was armed and reputed to be some in a bear fight. The officers wisely retreated out of range, but after a standoff, a short siege, and the use of an impromptu battering ram, they captured the fierce Mrs. McGregor. It was near dark, so the men tied her up and mounted her on the deputy's horse and set out for Knoxville, following an Indian path through the woods. But Roseanne wasn't about to let herself be sold into 6 months of bondage, and a mile or 2 down the trail, when Sheriff Walters headed off for other business, leaving Deputy Dr. Conray to get her to the courthouse, Roseanne wheeled the horse around and took off for home. Conray was on foot, and although he gave chase, he couldn't catch her. The very next day, Tom and Roseanne McGregor appeared before the court with the required freedom papers and the $500 bond, and the case was closed. I am not a descendant of Roseanne McGregor's. Are you? I would love to hear from you.